So EtsyRank is a keyword search tool, and the reason why I want to use EtsyRank over another one, which is called Marmalade, which I'm going to be talking to you about later on, is because you can use EtsyRank for free, and it's got some absolutely great features that are going to help you realize what's popular and what's going on in the art printable world on Etsy that you might be able to tap into. So you're simply going to need to click on the link to EtsyRank that I have just below. I've got it all set up for you, and you're just going to want to register for a free account on EtsyRank. It's super easy to do. It'll then ask you to connect the shop that you've just created, which takes literally seconds for you to do as well, and then you'll end up on the EtsyRank platform with your shop connected to it, which is even better. And if you decide to go with EtsyRank in the future or use it in the future, then it's even better to have your shop connected. But we're going to do some really simple things here that are going to help you work out not only what you want to sell on Etsy, but also what's actually popular and already selling on Etsy. So the first thing that I want you to do is click onto the top sellers section. And when you're in top sellers, I want you to click on art and collectibles. Now, EtsyRank is amazing and actually gives you a list of the top 100 sellers in your already existing niche, which is art prints and printables. And you're going to be able to see the people who are doing really well with their sales. These people are doing phenomenally well with their sales, and they may have been going for a fair number of years, so they also know exactly what's popular and what they should be pushing in their shop. And we're just going to get a feel for what is being sold on Etsy, what's doing well on Etsy. Whatever you do, don't just go on here, find an Etsy shop that you really like and try and emulate them exactly, because they have years of experience on you, years of building their niche. They've probably got an email list and a website and all of the extras that go with it. And for you to try and directly compete with them is putting yourself in direct competition with one of the biggest sellers, which is kind of wasting your time. But what you'll most likely find is that some of the styles of art printables that you wrote down as ones that you really like are also some that are doing quite well on Etsy. And what that'll help you do is just narrow it down. So for example, if you're really into nursery decor and creating art printables for young children's rooms, and you find that a number of popular sellers are doing similar things to what you're doing, that's a great indication that that is a good niche to sell on Etsy. Another great tool that you can use on EtsyRank to help you kind of work out whether or not a micro niche in art printables could be right for you is to use the keyword tool. So if you simply type in something like art printable and you scroll down past, yes, the high competition and the very high engagement, and you look at the cloud section, this is a really great indicator as well of kind of niches that you can look into when it comes to art printables. So you see nursery art, greenery printables, green plants, bear art prints, lots of different options. And what you can also do is scroll to the bottom, and although we're not on the premium version of EtsyRank, which I'm going to talk about more in a later module, we can still look and kind of get a feel for what niches are doing well on Etsy and also what niches are doing well in general across the internet. So for example, with nursery wall art, we can see that it's actually quite competitive, which don't panic about, because at this phase we're just trying to see whether people are bothering to sell that type of art printable on Etsy. And on top of that, you can also click over to see trend. This is going to take you to an awesome resource, just Google Trends, and you can really get a feel for whether or not that micro niche, so for example nursery art printables, is popular and how popular it is over the year. And I think this is such a great resource that I knew nothing about when I first started my Etsy shop. I just kind of guessed and hoped and winged it, and that's why I had to go back and completely correct my shop, because I didn't take into account that I need real data to see whether or not the style of art printables that I'm trying to sell are really doing well on Etsy. And by simply searching different styles of art printables using EtsyRank, you can really see whether there's a good demand there, whether there's high engagement, whether there's lots of competition. That really shows you it's a good niche and that there are a lot of people trying to sell in that specific micro style of art printable. And it's a really great way to get a real feel for what is really being sold on Etsy, what is doing well on Etsy, and what resonates with you, what you're passionate about. So the first goal that you are reaching for in this lesson is just to find out what style of art printable really resonates with you, what you enjoy and you think that you're going to like creating. And then what style of art printable is actually doing well on the Etsy platform. And this is something that I think so many new Etsy sellers just don't do. They don't look into what is actually selling. You need to make this as easy as you possibly can for yourself. And yes, there's always going to be those people who come in with a really random niche and manage to do well, but that really takes an ocean of hard work and push and experience. And if you're just starting off creating and growing and scaling a small art printable shop, then making it as easy as possible for yourself, going after a micro niche in art printables that is super popular, that you know has competition, has engagement, and therefore will make you sales in the long run is super important. So go ahead and fill out the workbook that I have for you in this module and really get a feel for what style of art printables you'll want to create.